Okay, we're live. Testing, testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn when your water breaks, call a plumber.
And in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody! Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. Joining me as always, Mr. Paul Packler, strapped with his guitar. How are you, man?
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the water has broken in your uterus. Scott Jones, you know what I just realized? In this crazy season of Family Ties, where Meredith Baxter was actually pregnant and was dealing with her own family matters, that you have also missed a few episodes this season. You are our Meredith Baxter.
I am the Meredith Baxter of this. I am, and I've missed you guys. It's just these past few weeks, I have literally not been able to sit down with you and discuss Family Ties. And so, yeah, I needed some bed rest. The doctor recommended it. And now I'm off bed rest, and I'm going to go travel and then get more bed rest, just like Meredith Baxter.
Nice. Where are you going?
Yeah. Nowhere. I'm taking random trips like Meredith Baxter Burney did in this whole entire season.
you have a bunch of conferences that you have to go to.
I got conferences. I got to see my mom. I got to go to a lot of different places while I need bed rest and not do the bed rest.
Nice.
Corey, how's it going?
I am terrific. I just noticed Paul's T-shirt, but I got to get a better shot. Paul, stick your chest near the camera so I can read it. Alex P. Keaton for president in 2008? Is that what it says?
It's an old T-shirt.
2008?
Yeah.
I love it. His campaign slogan is "Sha-la-la-la." I love it.
There you go. I was
awesome.
wearing this all the time
awesome.
in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, man, guys. I am so glad to be back for this two-parter. Oh.
But we're just doing it one part at a time, right? We're just going to do one part at a time.
I think we have to.
It may take me another week to digest the other episode.
Yeah. They didn't want to overwhelm the audience with too much information. This is something that takes 60 minutes for you to get through it all.
I'm not sure if there's been a story to be found in the last 2 or 3 episodes of Family Ties.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's why I've missed the past 2 episodes. I just really have not been able to.
No story.
Oh, Scott, the past 2 episodes alone have been fucking insane. I mean, you had the delirious Philadelphia story, and then you had Auntie Mame dying. It was insane.
Oh, but I did tweet in for Auntie Mame dying. I did see that and wanted to be a part of it. I just wasn't able to sit down and talk to you about it. Yeah, that episode sucked.
True. Yeah.
Oh, my God. But I will agree with you guys. Justine Bateman did a good job in that episode. Her acting was good. It was just a horrible episode. But let's jump into this cliffhanger of an episode. For those of you playing at home, we are on Season 3, still on Season 3, Episode 17, right? 17?
Yeah,
that's right.
I want to make sure. The Birth of a Keaton, Part 1. The Birth of a Keaton, Part 1. And we start off in the kitchen. It is the pledge drive for Stephen's PBS.
Scott?
Yes.
I hate to interrupt, but I feel like
it's okay.
We should start with the title.
I did. I said Birth of a Keaton.
No. What I'm saying is
Let's start to rip the title. It was played on the great W. Griffith film, Birth of a Nation.
Mm-hmm.
The most racist film ever recorded.
Yeah, let's just get that clean for editing. Do that one more time. Just Corey.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
The title "Birth of a Keaton" is a riff on D.W. Griffith's classic silent movie The Birth of a Nation, which in 2016 looks like the most racist film ever made.
It's awful. It's about how the KKK helps save a young woman who's been, like, murdered by a black guy. That's the plot. And the best part is that the movie opens with a quote from President at the time, Woodrow Wilson, saying that everyone should see this movie, and it's so great.
Donald Trump gives it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. It's insane. So in 1984, they decided to name their baby episode after this film.
Mm-hmm.
I did not look into it that deeply, but you are 100% correct.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot to take in.
Oh. Okay. So we're in the kitchen, and it's the pledge drive for Stephen's PBS station.
Can I ask you guys
a question? That?
Yeah, right off the bat, they have Elise on the guitar. When did Elise Keaton turn into Lucy Ricardo? I'd like to get into. I want to get into show business, honey. I want to be a folk singer. Haven't we seen her folk singing before? Wasn't there a whole episode about her singing before? Don't we know she's a dreadful singer? Can you please stop it with this?
Yep.
No,
this
but
episode.
Corey, Go ahead. Go, Scott.
I was just going to say, I agree with you, Corey. This episode felt like they took elements from several episodes from this season and just put it all together.
Mm-hmm. My thought is that I don't think that the dynamic that they're giving Elise is the same as that folk singer episode, because if you'll remember, in that opening scene of that folk singer episode, everyone's sitting around, they're having a party, and she's so good, they're like, you should get back into folk singing. Now,
you're right.
Now the joke is how badly she sucks, and it's like, this is a different character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because the folk singing episode was just about her getting, like, stage fright and nervous and not fitting the nightclub scene, right? This actually would be fine for her to do this, right? But, yeah, and even before, Stephen was like, yeah, you sing so well, honey, in the nightclub episode, and then he doesn't want her to sing for the pledge drive. And there's a lot of time to kill in a pledge drive. Why not?
Yeah, clearly there's a lot of time to kill on the pledge drive when we see some of the incredible talent that WKS has brought in Dayton, Ohio. Everyone from Jackie Jackerman to the mother and daughter tap dancers. It's quite a talented city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I really wanted to watch the tap dancing duo. I really thought they were going to be good.
I would have enjoyed the tap dancing duo a lot more than the few moments we got of Jackie Jackerton's monologue.
Oh, God.
Wait, you've already said his name 2 different ways. I want where every time his name is Jackie Jackerman, it's the worst name ever written.
You tweeted earlier today, Paul, that it was just the placeholder in the script, and they never replaced it. That's hilarious. I can just imagine the writers' room going, just write down Jackie. We'll get to it. And then now it's 2 minutes before they're shooting, and Gary David Goldberg goes, screw it, leave it. It's Jackie Jackerman.
Jackie Jackerman works. And actually, for that character, it kind of works.
Get the pink tuxedo out of costumes. He's perfect for it.
Oh my God! Can we? And the actor playing him, how much mugging can you possibly do?
I didn't bother looking.
He's the worst. I mean, yeah. So the pledge drive is happening, and we've read this book before because the Keatons, we've seen the pledge drive where Mallory gets felt up. We've seen the pledge drive where something else happens, so it's got to be a better pledge drive. And so the kids are all pissed off because they're getting older, and they don't want to do it this year, which is totally fine. Alex is a grown adult. Why should he have to go?
Yeah, it felt like that too. It could have gone either. Like this whole situation is a little ridiculous because it should be like a non-issue. You either they're grown adults and can do whatever they want to, or hey, it means something to your dad. Just show up and do the damn commercial and then leave. Like I don't know why it's this big conflicting situation for them.
You know, every New Year's Eve, I end up watching the CNN countdown with Anderson Cooper and Kathy Griffin. So every year that I watch it, for the past, let's say, like 6 years, they've gone to Central Park where there's this guy, this dorky guy, who brought his, like, 12-year-old daughter, or, like, 13-year-old daughter, to run around the park at midnight. It's this thing that they do in Central Park. And so every year the daughter would be just like, you know, and then this year they had her come in. She's like 21 years old. She's super fucking hot. And then she's really like able to like roll with the punches, and she's way better at being an anchor person than her dad is. But every year of her entire adolescence, you saw her grow up every New Year's Eve. It was really funny. This episode reminded me of that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the kids have this like.
It was a great story. I know it was a great story, Scott. You don't have to.
No, it's fascinating, Paul. Fascinating.
Well, if our listening audience wants to hear any more of that anecdote, is there any way that you could give us any kind of like talking points on it, just so that we could go over it again?
I have a blog that I do every January 1st in the morning, where I talk about the growth and changes of the dynamics of the CNN countdown. I talk about how many drag queens we saw at the Key West location, how drunk Don Lemon got, whether Kathy showed her boobs this year. You know, so every January 1st, go to paulpackler.com and you can read about it.
And Paul, you really just wanted to tell that story to discuss how hot the girl had become, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Let's talk about how hot Anderson Cooper is instead.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Fox, can I say?
He's pretty dreamy.
Silver Fox. He's dreamy.
I wish my hair would go gray like that. I feel like I could pull that off. I feel like I'd be cool like that.
You could, actually.
You could. Yeah. You could.
I already wear the tight T-shirts. You know, I could be. Here I am in Hurricane Katrina.
Listeners, if you can grab a screenshot of Paul and kind of make his hair gray so we could see that and tweet it, that'd be awesome. So the kids have this dilemma of actually telling Steven they don't want to go to do the pledge drive this year, and each one of them tries to build up the courage to tell Steven, but he is so excited. He comes in with hats for them. He's singing. He talks about how much it means to him when they come to say the lines and everything, and his family's gathered around him, and they just can't bring themselves to tell him that they don't want to do the pledge drive.
Corey?
Did you guys ever have anything like that? Yeah.
No.
Never had.
Yeah, my parents never made me do anything like that either. Yeah.
My dad worked. He trotted us out like once a year to come in and say hi to him, but that was about it.
Okay.
And that pretty much ended when I was a teenager too. You know, you don't do that to your teens.
No.
Yeah. No.
You can embarrass a teen just driving them up to a friend's house and dropping them off, let alone having to have them interact with your coworkers.
Right. Right.
I'm in a state right now where when I drive Logan up to the bus stop in the morning, he turns whatever I have down on the radio so that nobody would know what I was listening to. And listen to what the two things are that I would be listening to at 6:45 in the morning. Howard Stern or the MLB, the Major League Baseball Network. Those are the only two things I listen to at 6:45 in the morning, and he turns it down like, God forbid his friends should know I'm listening to Robin delivering the news right now.
Yeah, how is that embarrassing for a kid?
I thought I would seem cool if they thought I was listening to Howard Stern. I thought they would think I was a typical guy if I was listening to baseball. But no, that could be embarrassing to my 13-year-old, almost 14-year-old.
What does he say? What's his reasoning for that?
He just doesn't want anybody to know. He doesn't want anyone to know I'm even there. Like the car is it's like the car has a drone driver. It's a self-driving car that drives him to the bus stop and leaves him off.
Oh man, if Logan is in earshot, I have to say this. Logan, your dad is the coolest man I've ever met. You're totally wrong.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. That won't do anything.
Of course.
Although I will say
Corey,
the
first thing I thought you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I thought you were gonna be listening to show tunes.
Well, I would understand it if it was show tunes, which doesn't happen quite often. But in the morning, I would never have music on. It has to be talk in the morning. I can't have music first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
It fucks with my head too much. I don't need to be into music at first thing in the morning. It has to be news or traffic or something like that. And I want to hear people talking.
Yeah. I usually have like a podcast or something going on.
Can I do a quick OJ update, if that's all right?
Oh yes,
absolutely. Yes, please. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to break this down for everybody. So in this first scene, as they're all debating on how they're going to tell Steven that they don't want to be a part of this, Alex goes over to the kitchen table where the decanter is there with orange juice, and it's surrounded by empty glasses, a circle of empty glasses around the decanter in the middle of the kitchen table. And so he picks up the decanter, pours himself a teeming glass of orange juice. It's up to the brim! To the brim! I don't know why or how he does it. And then he effortlessly lifts it to his mouth and drinks a shit ton of it.
I have a secret fantasy that if any of the three of us ever ran into any of the cast members and said, hey, we do a podcast on your show, that their only response to that would be, I know, I've heard it, and I hear you guys talking about the orange juice all the time, and we used to joke about it around the set, too. That's the only thing I'd want them to say. That's it.
Yeah, everything else I don't care.
I don't care.
Bad writing, I don't care. Whether... Yeah.
I just want them to talk to us about the orange juice. That's it.
Yeah. It had to become a thing on that set. It had to be like an inside thing on that set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
Another thing.
Go for it.
When Steven comes down in the morning and he has been fixing the toilet upstairs, and this is the B plot that we're learning about. Actually, more like the C plot. The C plot of the episode.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'll just wait. Okay.
Okay. Hold for editing? Hold for editing?
That's fine.
I'm a father.
Can I go, Scott? Okay, cool. So it's more like the C plot. Steven has been working on the toilet upstairs, and he's notoriously bad at doing plumbing work and stuff like that. He comes downstairs as they're all talking and stuff, and he comes in with the plunger, he flips it and catches it, and it's like, oh, you mean that shit water covered plunger? You just flipped it, and then he catches it, and then he puts it into the sink where they wash their dishes. Ugh.
I know. Oh, I thought the same thing. I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, and the last thing we should point out with this scene is that we learned that Elise really, like Corey was saying, the whole Ricky Ricardo thing, Elise really wants to perform at the pledge drive. Because that comes into play.
What was with the weird cut at the end of the scene? It was such a weird edit.
The what?
Out. The edit out of this first scene was so bizarre.
I forget. How exactly does it end? Hold on one second.
What's going on? Has someone broken into your house? What's going on?
Listeners, yeah. Henry has turned up the volume on his cartoon, so I had to turn it down.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. All right, we're good.
So let's just do an edit, and then we're back. Okay, so I just got a tweet from Madison at Rhiannon's. She says, I'm going to a con that Michael J. Fox...
Yeah. Hold again.
It's all right.
Sorry, guys. Okay, picking back up. Start with the tweet again, Paul.
Okay, so I just got a tweet from Madison at Rhiannon's. She's saying, I'm going to a con that Michael J. Fox is going to be at in June. Should I ask him about the OJ if I get to ask question at the panels? And this is what I'll say. From my perspective, I want you to ask whatever question you feel that you want personally answered. But if you have the opportunity and you really want to, we would be so thankful.
Absolutely. And if by chance, if you bring a friend and can get them to ask a question too, please ask about the orange juice.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all set up to go down to the station where they're doing rehearsals and setting up for the pledge drive. We see Gus again, who we haven't seen in a while, and his family. I liked his daughter. His daughter was really funny.
Gus is my favorite character on Family Ties besides Michael J. Fox at this point.
Yeah.
I love Gus. I love his family. I love his smart-ass kids. I think they're more interesting than the Keatons.
They need a spinoff. This is the spinoff from this show. Yeah. We meet Jackie Jackerman and his pink tuxedo.
So there's when Gus introduces Bill and Judy, his kids, to Steven, Steven says, "Oh man, Gus, I didn't even recognize your kids. They're so big now." And then he says, "Gus, isn't it funny how, these kids get older, but we stay the same age?" And then Judy says, without missing a beat, she's like 10 years old, and she's like, "Actually, you do look older." And I'm like, Judy, you're my fucking hero. You're amazing. You're hilarious. You're so much cooler than Jennifer.
I know. This is why I wanted to have a spinoff.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's a whole joke in here, like Elise is going to be able to sing the pledge drive, and Gus makes a comment of like, oh, some of those other PBS drives, they just hire their friends or relatives. At least Jackie Jackerman is a professional. Which is he? Can we really consider Jackie Jackerman a professional?
I think he could
Just
go
because he has a
Well,
yeah.
I mean, baseline for being a professional is getting paid to do what you do. So maybe he's gotten like a $5 bill at some point from someone.
Right. Okay. And so yeah, we're everything's getting set up for the pledge drive, and Lisa's rehearses. She can't hit this high note in one of the folk songs she's going to do, but she says she's going to work on it. And pretty much we just go back home, and we meet Bud the plumber.
Yeah, Bud the plumber is creepy as hell. First off,
Mm-hmm.
he hugs Jennifer for an inordinately long time.
Yeah.
He's the type of worker who you constantly see on, like, Judge Judy or the People's Court, who people are suing because he's a total incompetent. I don't know where they got his name from. And you know what? If you have an incompetent contractor or plumber or whatever or electrician, you know what? Fire them and get somebody else.
Yeah. And what made it even?
I have a.
Go for it, Court. Go for it, Paul.
I have a story. So my friend, this girl who is my voice teacher, she just had a huge leak in her apartment and had to leave, and her husband had to take care of it, and they had to get a plumber and people to fix the floors and the cabinets and all kinds of stuff, and the bathroom while they were at it. And the plumbers were so incompetent. She did all the prep work for them. They ended up putting the tile that was supposed to go in the bathroom walls as the kitchen floor. So then they had to take it all up, get new tile, and fix it the other way around.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh. So, like, and how much did she have to pay them?
Oh, she didn't even tell me. I didn't even ask.
Thousands.
Like, if you're doing that,
yeah.
And but this is what I found to be weird about Bud, is that yes, he's extremely incompetent, but he's almost like a deep family friend, like a relative almost, like an uncle. Like he's watched the kids grown up and everything too, which is really, really strange.
Well, I mean, ultimately, that's exactly the same sort of thing that we covered with Aunt Trudy, where it's like the familial nature, it far exceeds anything that we've seen in past episodes.
Yeah, why are they creating these characters that are supposed to have this huge long backstory with the Keatons, and we're supposed to feel sentimental about?
Yeah. Oh, it's complete horseshit. Yeah. The other thing I want to say about Steven and his relationship with plumbing. He does this thing. And it happens actually in the first scene, and I wrote it down because it was so ridiculous what he said. He said that it goes against his principles of self-reliance, that this is why Steven hates calling a plumber. And so he says that in the first scene, and it's crazy because this is hippie Steven, who the idea of self-reliance as opposed to communal living, that's one thing. Second, this is a guy who works for public television, which considers things like the community good of having television as an instructive medium. And then third, he's dealing with a pledge drive, which is about people donating funds for a common good. And this is a guy who won't call a plumber because of his stricture of fucking self-reliance. What the hell? Do these writers even care? Do they even care? Just tell me, do they even care?
Paul is mad as hell and not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, I'm going right up to WKS and I'm screaming it right into the camera. Just go out your window! Go out your window and say, I'm mad as hell!
I'm not taking it anymore! Yeah, again, the whole idea of like they've been borrowing stuff from little episodes throughout this season is nuts. Like again, the whole Bud the Plumber relationship is very similar to Aunt Trudy, and just completely thrown together. There's no like, I don't even know why you need this character to try to give us, from what happens to this episode of the kids realizing that they should be down there to help their dad. Why do you need this character? Why do you need the plumbing going on? Especially for what this episode is supposed to be about, of Elise having a baby.
It got
Corey, your thoughts.
It got very tied up in this B/C plot, and they gave this guy way more material than was necessary for a relatively uninteresting character who we don't give a shit about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah, Corey. I mean, he gets like a meaningful monologue at one point. Like
I wrote that down. He did have a meaningful monologue that was not very well written at all, but it was really bad that he delivered to the kids. When I wrote down, it's in this first scene of the second act, which we haven't actually gotten to the second act yet. But in the first scene of the second act, I wrote down, Bud makes the kids feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he lays a whole guilt trip on them about what he learned from his dead dad and how his dead dad was a plumber. And now he's a plumber.
And he doesn't just get a meaningful monologue, he gets a meaningful camera zoom in on him, too. For emphasis.
The Emmy nomination goes to Buzz the Plumber.
Ron Karabatsos.
Corey, what else was he in?
For some reason he died relatively recently, within the last 10 years or so. He was a Greek actor who started acting late in life, but nothing significant.
Okay.
Right.
Did he teach his son to be an actor? like his father before him?
Oh God. All right. So yeah, where are we? Okay, Bud's come to fix the plumbing. Creepy moment with Jennifer. And Elise brings up the point to Steven. It's like, I think the kids are just a little upset that you didn't give them the option to do the pledge drive. And I'm sure if you ask them, they'll probably say yes, but they just kind of figured that you just assumed that they would be there. And so the kids come down, and Steven presents them with that option, basically saying, if you don't want to do the pledge drive, it's perfectly okay and everything. And all the kids come up with a reason for not doing the pledge drive.
Yep, they bail on him, one by one.
Mm-hmm. One by one, gone.
And that ends the first act.
I would bail on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Since that's the end of the first act, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about the rest of this nonsense.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. I love the delay. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. All right, Scott, just hold off. Don't say a word, Scott. We'll be right back. And we're back.
And we're back at the pledge drive. Oh, Jesus. Pledge drives are boring enough, and this just emphasized it. I was thinking about that as I was watching this, because the two radio stations I really listen to out here when I'm driving, they're both doing pledge drives at the same time, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Just an interesting anecdote.
I like to watch a lot of... No, hey, what's good for the goose is good for Scott Jones. There you go.
Hey, Paul, when they had the pledge drive on public TV in Pittsburgh, did Fred Rogers used to show up all the time for it?
No, that's what was crazy. He never was doing the pledge drive. It was always just like the people that worked at the station, and it was never him. I wish it were.
See, growing up in New York, public TV in New York, which of course had access to everyone in public TV, never used any of the stars. They just used like local personalities who basically did radio shows in New York.
Right. Like Cousin Brucey type stuff.
That's exactly right, Cousin Bruce Morrow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I remember.
All right.
I remember one story. I remember a couple years ago, I was watching with my girlfriend where they were doing a doo-wop night on a Sunday night, and they had the guy who sings Sea Cruise. He's like a JV version of oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Great Balls of Fire.
Jerry Lee
Lewis. And, so this guy had so much work done. He was wearing, much like Jackie Jackerman, like a pink suit, and he was just like stretched to bejesus. It was amazing.
And he sang that song, "Won't You Take Me, Baby, on a Sea Cruise?"
Yeah, the hoo-wee, baby. All that nonsense.
I remember that. All right. Stephen and Elise, they're getting ready to go down. It's the big night of the pledge drive. Elise is going to perform, and the kids come down and basically said, we realize this is a big night for you. And Stephen thinks that they are going to actually join them, and instead they give him a card.
A card that Alex forgets to sign.
And Alex. Yeah.
And how does he sign it, Paul?
So he initials it APK. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I don't understand what they were. Why should they be expected to go? You gave them the offer to not go, and then they took it.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's a little annoying when they write Steven is when they make him pouty for stupid shit like this.
Yeah. It's just, this episode does nothing. There's no problem. And then here's the other thing. My other problem with the title of it, Birth of a Keaton. We know, looking at TV Guide, on Sunday when TV Guide comes out, we look at it and we go, Birth of a Keaton? That means there's going to be a baby. And then the whole first part of this two-part episode, it's the baby thing is the surprise. But we already know it's going to happen, so your audience is already ahead of you for the first 24 minutes.
You're absolutely right, Paul.
Absolutely. You wasted it. You told them what happens in the title.
Yeah. So it's got to be a different episode. Something else needs to be about something else.
Yeah, and I remember, Paul, when I was asking you, what episode are we on? Because I had been behind, and you were like, "Oh, it's the two-parter with Andy being born." I was like, "Oh, is this the end of the season?" And we finally got to it. Like, no, there's more, and there's like 6 episodes more.
Yeah. I don't even want to know where the season ends up. But just as a showrunner, why would you have a baby being born happen mid-season? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So, spoiler alert, listeners, you know where this is going. But Steve and Elise head off to the pledge drive. And, okay, so both Mallory, Alex, and Jennifer all have plans for tonight. They're getting ready to go out, but instead they start sitting down at the television and watching the goddamn pledge drive that they didn't want to attend.
Yeah,
the Keatons are the only humans on Earth who sat down to watch a pledge drive.
Did anyone notice? I said before that the actor who played Bud died early, but did anyone notice he was panting from walking in with a wrench in his hands and sitting down? And actor delivered his very important lines, panting. He could hardly get them out.
Oh my god.
And he's not a very in shape man, and they have him wearing an Elmer Fudd hat. He must have been sweating buckets.
Oh god, yes.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Bud's appearance gives us the mise en scène that it's going to snow, that it's cold outside. Like, this is the first inkling when we first see him with the fucking hat. We're like, oh, it must be cold.
January in Ohio.
Yep. And I love that he charges for coming out and working at night. I wonder if he also charges for coming out in the snow and the cold, too.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. So the kids are watching that, and they see Gus and his awesome family say how much they love being part of the pledge drive. And they're kind of like, oh, we're missing out. Oh, we really let Mom and Dad down. And this is where Bud comes down and gives his crappy monologue about his, like you were saying, Paul, his dead plumber dad, and making them feel guilty that they should be down there. We cut back to the pledge drive and see Jackie Jackerman at work telling horrible, horrible jokes. And it's Steven's time to come out. Oh, wait, go for it.
Realizing how terrible the jokes. It wasn't just terrible jokes.
Oh.
It was a horrendous performance delivering terrible jokes. Oh my God! It's just sort of like, I'm like the unknown comic, and I'm just doing a riff on what a bad comic sounds like, and I'm just doing. I got shtick over here. I got a lot of stuff to do.
No, wait, Corey, I have to ask you, Corey, as a fellow Howard Stern.
Yes.
Okay. Here, I'll hold. Here.
Hold on one sec, guys. Let's hold for editing real quick.
That's fine.
What's up? What's up, Bubs? What is it? Okay. What do you want? I'll be right there. 1 sec. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And picking up.
All right. Okay.
Go for it.
Here, I'm just gonna wait till the crashing stops.
Ready, Paul?
It's just okay. There we go. Okay, yeah. So, Corey, as a fellow Howard Stern fan, I have to ask, who do you think is less funny, Jackie Jackerman or Jackie the Joke Man Martling?
They're the same thing. And I thought the same thing, that the period of time was exactly when Jackie the Joke Man Martling was on Howard, and I thought that that's sort of what they were doing a riff on, and I'm not really sure. I think Jackie the Joke Man Martling may be slightly sadder than Jackie Jackerman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a really good appraisal. I really agree. I feel like if I went to a comedy club and I saw Jackie Jackerman playing, his joyousness, I think, would help me get through all the awful jokes. I would be laughing at him, but with Jackie the Joke Man, I feel like I would be sitting there being like, oh, this is just the worst. And this guy just goes home and he puts a gun into his mouth and he's just like, oh, I gotta do it. And then, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good job. Oh, so that'd be fun. That should have been his bit. It's just a Russian roulette every night.
Yeah, his bit is doing that opera scene from The Godfather 2. That he's just there and he has the gun, and then the hot girl that Corey knows comes out and all that stuff.
Yeah. All right.
No, wait, Scott,
So-
wait. Scott, wait,
Yes.
hold up. Corey, you
Hold
know
it,
the
hold
hot
it.
girl. Corey, you know the hot girl from The Godfather 2, right?
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about my dear friend Michael's ex-wife.
Oh, wait. So isn't she married to Thomas Dolby now?
Still is. Been married many years
There you
and
go.
produced 2 or 3 children.
Wow.
Wow. All right. So, I don't know what to comment on.
All right, Scott, I'll take the lead on this. All right, so we come back and Jackie is doing a shitty set. And Gus, or no, not Gus, like the stage manager guy says to Steven,
Yeah.
we only have $10,000 and we're down $40,000. Like I can just imagine all of Columbus sitting there watching the pledge drive and being like, this is garbage. The Keaton children aren't there. I'm never going to give any money.
Plus, I'm forced to watch Jackie Jackerman. Why would I possibly pledge any money? He's horrible.
Right, and they did that in the editing because you have Gus make that comment to Steven, and then they cut back to Jackie Jackerman to kind of allude to the fact that it's because of Jackie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so Steven is like, oh, my kids aren't here. He holds up the card that they gave him, and Elise is there with her guitar, and he's like, I love my wife, and my kids gave me this card. I really love them. I'm not upset. And then, dun-da-da, it's really gross. All the Keatons come in, like the goddamn Osmonds.
Yeah, it's so sweet and nice. I do want to throw back really quick of when Steven had to rehearse his speech to Elise about what he was going to say. I kind of like the fact he's like, my kids didn't care enough to be down here tonight. I thought Michael Gross did a good job with that.
They didn't, Steven. They're human beings. They're not going to like everything that you do. And as they get older, that schism grows wider.
Yes,
Learn it. Know it. And so, then this is when the famous tap dancing duo of Karen and Sharon McLaren come a tapping out.
Paul really wanted to see.
I just want to drink that in one more time. So we've had Jackie Jackerman and Sharon and Karen McLaren, the tap dancers.
Corey, say that name again. It just rolls off the tongue.
Sharon and Karen McLaren.
And McLaren. The McLarens.
From the clan McLaren.
The McLarens are gonna tap dance for ya. All right, and then we suddenly get a call from Bud back at the Keaton home that there's a major plumbing emergency, and Steven has to rush home.
Yeah, and so, I mean, there could have been a flood. There could have been something. We'll find out. Don't worry. Don't you worry, Scott. We'll find out.
I just don't. The logic of it, though, Paul. The logic of it. Like, that's what you write to get Steven out of there? Do? Yeah.
Yeah.
And also just did Steven leave the station number for Bud just in case there was some kind of an emergency?
Yeah. That could be.
Yeah.
The amount of money they spent on the special effects of things falling from the rafters in the studio, making sure that nothing fell on Michael Gross at the time. They had like 3 great special effect moments where he clearly moved to a spot so that something could fall in another spot. Then he crossed to another spot so that stuff could fall in the spot that he was just in. It was very carefully choreographed, the special effect and Stephen Keaton.
Yeah.
Do you think, Corey, that Michael Gross got hazard pay for that?
He had to get a bump. Yeah, he did.
Nice. Yeah, and I love it, the fact that this is a plumbing emergency, and when we get there, Bud's on his ass just watching TV.
Yep.
With water dripping
He's watching
down.
the pledge drive.
Yeah.
He's the only one watching the pledge drive.
That's true. It's a good thing because, they're $40,000 behind.
Yeah, they really have to make up that difference. But one of my favorite things that Gus does, and I have to say again, Gus is so fucking awesome. I love him. Is that Elise is all like, "Oh, Steven's gone. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna be able to go out on stage?" And Gus is like, "Elise, he's not harmonizing with you. Just go out there and sing the song."
I love that. And so, while Gus and Steven come in, and Steven's kind of upset about how the house is falling apart, and of course the hazard pay that he gets from the ceiling about to collapse. We're watching. It's Elise's time to go up on stage and sing her song, and listeners, we've been waiting for something to indicate about the birth of a Keaton. She goes into labor as she's supposed to hit that high note that she was having trouble with. And there's this whole bit of Steven talking to the television and thinking Elise can hear him, and Elise talking back.
If you're not watching,
the Joke Man.
Corey is doing his Jackie the Joke Man impersonation.
Just killing my. That's all, folks.
Oh my god.
Oh, I was only suicidal because I know now that I for sure have to come back and watch the second half of this awfulness next week.
Oh, it's going to be so awful.
Stay tuned, listeners. It's going to be amazing.
Now, guys, I have to say this. In early days of the internet, when Jump the Shark was a brand new expression, and that was a website that you would go to, and they would discuss which shows and when they had jumped the shark and all this kind of stuff. It was so long ago, this website, that they said The Simpsons would never jump the shark. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah.
But what they said about Family Ties is that Andy's birth and the fact that the show had to, because Jennifer was not cute anymore, they had to get a new baby and all this stuff. Honestly, if this is the show pre-Shark Jump, my God.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. We have 4 more seasons of this. I pray to God it's not. Oh, no. Fuck. And that's it. That's where it stops. Steven's having to rush out and meet Elise at the hospital. Now, question, guys: do we see Bud in the next episode?
We gotta.
Okay, hold, guys.
Okay.
Hey, what is it, Bud? What's up? You hurt yourself? Okay, I'm right here. Yeah. Sorry. Here we go, Bud. I'm almost done. There we go. All right. He's almost done.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He was jumping up and down on the couch. Sorry, guys. All right.
That'll
back
do it.
up. I'll start. Yeah? Oh, jumping on the bed? Jumping on the couch. Paul, you there?
Yeah, go.
Oh, okay. All right, picking back up. Yeah, so guys, I want to ask you, do you think we see Bud in the next episode?
I'm guessing yes.
I think so, too.
I think so, too. He's so invested with this Keaton family. I would miss him if he were gone.
He's
like a relative.
If he wasn't able to be there to see the baby when they come home, I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, listeners, stay tuned. I know you're on the edge of your seats. All right, confession here really quick, guys. Since I've been away, Fanboy Comics has now become Fan-Based Press, yeah?
It has?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
It's become Fan-Based Press.
Wait, Scott?
I haven't learned the new copy.
You don't have the... Okay, well, I'm pulling up the copy. You two riff for a second. Do some of your Jackerman jokes.
Oh no, I'd rather talk about we didn't get to the baby. We told the audience, a couple of weeks ago that that Carrie is pregnant with your second baby, but why don't you tell everybody what the baby's name is going to be?
Yeah, we thought that this was an opportune moment since we're talking about Elise having a baby. Yeah, listeners, we're expecting number 2 in October. And so if you've been listening to this and you're like, oh my God, Henry's making so much noise, I can't enjoy the show, just wait till October. It's going to be awesome.
And you guys are so into Family Ties that the baby's name is going to be Skippy, right?
Of course. Yeah, it's a girl, but we're naming it Skippy.
Skippy.
I mean, I know the obvious choice would have been Mallory, but no, we decided to go with Skippy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's amazing because also,
Carrie suggested
Scott and Kyrie. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Carrie suggested Jennifer. I was saying, fuck no, we're not naming her that.
I was going to say, you and Carrie are such dedicated cosplayers for Family Ties, Scott, that you are planning on having 2 more kids after this kid.
Absolutely. We have to round it out, you know. I mean, it doesn't work either the way. I'm also, I guess, after this episode, I'm going to try to really find a good plumber that can constantly come over and just kind of bond with the kids a little bit so that we have a bud in the mix.
All right. I have the credits pulled up. Shall I give them?
Go for it, Paul.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Rate and review our show on iTunes. Please rate and review. For questions and comments, email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at QTWFT for updates. And I just posted, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. By the time this episode comes out, the poll will be done. But you can follow each of us. I'm at Paul Packler.
I'm at Follow Jones.
And I'm at Corpep.
And you can like us on Facebook, where we do tons of updates and fun little videos and all kinds of stuff. We'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon, my sister, at Fanbase Press. Fanbase Press is a comic book publisher and an online community supporting other creators and fans through daily reviews, interviews, and podcasts that span the pop culture spectrum. Echo, echo, echo.
Echo, echo.
Go to www.fanbasepress.com. Also, Perry Adams, who beautifully performs Family Ties in our theme song Without Us. Check out Perry's website, www.perryadams.com. And then also, Brian Dillon, my brother-in-law, who created our fantastic drawing and artwork, as well as edits our show, and he had his work cut out for him today, huh, Scott? What? Oh,
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry.
Brian is the president.
We should mention
and co-founder
we paid Brian nothing.
Nothing at all. Yeah, we barely even say anything to him. We're just like, Brian, did you figure it out? And he's like, you could have told me sooner.
We love you, Brian.
Love. He's the president and co-founder of Fanbase Press. Follow him on Twitter at Comic Book Slayer. Also, Sean Foster, Fanbase Press's graphic designer, for designing our logo. Guys, Scott, it was so great having you back. Listeners, we'll see you next week for the thrilling conclusion of Birth of a Keaton. Bye.
Sha-la-la-la.